Hello and welcome to another edition of the Rock Sound Podcast. I am your host, James Wilson Taylor, and our guest today from Underoath, it is Spencer and Aaron. You know the album, It's Erase Me. It came out earlier this year. We had a chat to them about that, the reactions from crowds now they've come back after all these years, talking about the future and what new music they might be working on, the possibility of a future collaboration with the guys from Bring Me the Horizon, and their memories of their times on Warped Tour. Really great chat this week. Looking forward to that. Plus, we have this week's game of Translate the Lyric with Henry and Ash from Boston Manor, and we're playing a game of First Time Last Time with none other than Pavement, so stay tuned for all that. And don't forget, you can go and pick up the current issue of Rock Sound featuring Chase Atlantic on newsstands and on shop.rocksound.tv. Right, let's kick things off, shall we, with From Underoath. Here they are, Spencer and Aaron. Hey guys, James Wilson Taylor here for Rock Sound, joined now by two of the lads from Underoath. It's Spencer and Aaron. How are you guys?
Hello, sir.
Good.
Hello.
Good. How are you?
Good to see you. Good to see you. Welcome back to the UK, we should say, first of all. Not seen you in a little while over here. It's nice to have you back. And, of course, the album came out earlier this year. First one in a little while. Looking back now, we're a bit further on. How's it all been going? You've been enjoying this year? Enjoying being back out there?
Busy year.
I can imagine.
Yeah. Me and Aaron particularly have been nonstop. So
Yeah.
Every break we've had has been filled with things that we've never done before. So we even did a radio tour, which was just me and Aaron flying
Acoustic.
all over,
Oh,
playing
wow.
acoustic, which has never happened for Underoath or either one of us really. It's nuts. It's
Yeah.
been busy. It's been good. You know, it's better to be too busy, I guess, than not busy at all.
Nice. Sounds very good. Sounds very good. We should say about the new record as well. Obviously, like I say, it was the first new record in a while. Have you noticed a change in the audience at all? Because I feel like we've seen a lot more chat about Underoath online and with a kind of younger fan base as well this time around. Has that been your reception?
Well, we didn't know. You know, I know when we got back together, we had talked about like all our fans are going to be old. You know, like we broke up. We started in like 2003, 2004 was like really our first record that anyone heard. So we're like, oh, it's all going to be people like our age or older because we were always the young band on tour. We grew up like touring with bands that were always older. Poison the
We're
Well,
also
18
doing our
Visions.
two biggest records back to back, which
Yeah,
are
sure.
both over a decade old.
Yeah, and like Define the Great Line was turning 10 years old. And then we went out there and we played, and I would ask, after the first couple of days, we're like, man, this is kind of weird. Like the meet and greets seem like these kids seem young.
Yeah.
You know, and then I started asking, like 3 or 4 days into the tour, I was like, I'm going to make a point to ask every night. And I would go, so who's here seeing us for the first time? And a lot of times it would be 3/4 of the crowd, like raising their hand. And I would ask it very clearly. I was like, all right, everyone be quiet. It's like, you know, a room full of thousands of people. I'm like, I need you to hear what I'm saying. Don't just raise your hand because I'm asking you to. Like, how many people actually have never seen an Underoath show before live? And a lot of people raise their hand. So yeah, it's crazy I feel like that word nostalgia gets thrown around, and I don't like that word because all these bands now that are getting called nostalgic because they started at a certain time
Sure.
or have outgrown the like just a flash in the pan. Like, oh, you've got a couple big records and you go away. Like a lot of bands do. It's like a lot of us and our peers are getting to the point where we're career bands. We're bands that have songs that are popular from the early 2000s, have popular songs now in 2018, and I think it's really cool because you're seeing kids from all ages, so you got to like make sure you're playing songs from all your records, and you know, I don't know, it's been pretty awesome.
Yeah, no, it's really cool to see. Has it changed the dynamic of the actual shows as well at all? Do you notice it, particularly when you're on stage, does it feel any different now this time around?
It's flattering to see younger folks.
Yeah.
You know, and what I use as an example for my own brain is that one of my favorite bands, if you look at the Foo Fighters, right? Like, according to the timetable from the late 90s, you would consider them a nostalgia band, but you don't do that. And if you go to see Foo Fighters, there's people there who are 18
Yeah, it's a
and
big
who
mix.
are 60 and who are 12.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think for us as a band, like as a rock band in 2018, that's our goal, is we want all people from all walks of life, from all age groups, to come and have a good time. And I'm beginning to see, obviously we're never have been at a point in our career where we're on the same plane as the Foos, but it's getting to that place demographically where I look out in the crowd and there's someone who's 18 and there's someone who's 14 and there's someone who's 45.
Yeah.
And that's cool. You know, like in the meet and greets, like he was saying, we've seen him change so much where I've asked kids, like, you're 16, why are you here? This is before Erase Me came out.
Right, sure.
Like, you're 16, you were 6 years old when the Final Great Line came
Yeah.
out. Well, my brother, he went off to college and he left me his records.
Wow.
Or
You know?
I even think about it with myself. Like a lot of bands I listened to as a kid, I didn't get to see. I wasn't old enough. Like, you know, Alice in Chains, Nirvana, Soundgarden, all those bands. Some of them I saw way later in life. Like I saw Soundgarden for the first time in 2014 or 15.
Right.
You know, like when they started coming back and doing that stuff, and like Alice in Chains I never saw until obviously they got a new singer and started touring again. And you know, like he was saying of the Foo Fighters, I've been listening to Foo Fighters. I was in line as a kid because I was such a Nirvana fan. I had an older brother and 2 older stepbrothers, so I was always around like older music at a young age, which I feel like a lot of people maybe are. And I was in line to get the debut Foo Fighters record. I skipped school to get the CD when I was a little kid with my brother, and still to this day I've never been able to catch them live. Does that mean I'm not a huge fan? No, I love that band. I feel like a lot of people are like that. Like just because you haven't seen your favorite band doesn't mean they're not your favorite band. And, and people, you know, life happens, and a lot of times you're not around when a band comes through. So seeing, like you said, new people, I don't think it's strange. Like, oh, well, our first record came out when you were like 6, but it's like, yeah, that happened to me too, though. Yeah. You know, like Led Zeppelin, half the reason I play music is because Led Zeppelin, because my dad loved Led Zeppelin. I never saw it. I will never see it. You know, it's like, that doesn't mean I'm not a huge fan.
Yeah, of course.
You know, it's just like we broke up at a point in our career that maybe before a lot of people were old enough or allowed to go to concerts, and now they are. So
bodes well for the future as well, like whole new audience kind of coming through, I suppose, as well. It bodes very well.
That's the goal, right? Is to continue to gain fans and serve your old fans as well.
Yeah, exactly. Balance it out. Very, very nice. Speaking of which, I did want to pick up on a story I heard around when the album was coming out, that you were at one point thinking about working with the guys from Bring Me the Horizon. Is that true? It was like it almost kind of happened, right?
Yeah, we did that tour with them.
Yeah.
And we even sat down and spoke about it.
Yeah.
And just with everyone's families and timing.
It went like all the way through the final.
It went all the way to like labels and management.
And like money and budgets and stuff. We were just trying to figure out, you know, we get along with those guys really well, and we respect each other, and you know, it was just a thing that we were on that tour, and me and Aaron had already written about 20 songs at that point.
They had all the songs. They had some of the singles that are on the record now.
Wow. And we, you know, we were like, well, what if Jordan makes the record? You know, we love Jordan, and then Jordan was like, well, what if I brought in Ollie, and like between Tim and Chris and me and Aaron, who are the people that make the records, and then Jordan and Ollie, like we could make something crazy and like really push each other, and like it would be something a band had never done before.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it would have been really cool, and maybe one day it will happen, but it just was one of those things that 2 bands trying to get on the same schedule was really tough.
No, I can imagine.
Jordan had just had a child as well,
right.
And it was just not.
And we're in America.
Not the ideal timing. Yeah,
we're in America, and they're here. You know, and it's like Jordan's never. I don't think that I know of has produced anyone outside of his own band, but
I'm not sure. But
I don't think
so.
At
that time he hadn't. So it was something we were all really excited about, and it just didn't end up. Couldn't get the schedules working.
Part of the issue too is Jordan lives in London.
Yeah, we live in America.
So we even talked about making a record in London, but Ollie lives up north.
Yeah, he does. That's true.
It was just like there was no way to even like even if the 4 of us that play on the Underoath records would have come to London, we couldn't get Ollie down here for 5 days a week. You know, it was a mess. So
and, you know, it's like it's easy to do that when it's your own band, but when you're like, oh, you're gonna go work for some other, you know, like
both of our bands also had just toured a full world tour.
Right.
So by that time, it was like everyone wanted to be in their respective country.
So it was timing, though, I guess, is what we're saying.
That's
so
all
perhaps in the future, if the timing was right, we could see that happen, because you guys were all
I would love
keen to do it.
Yeah, I think we would love to. I feel like Jordan, for a guy that doesn't make records for a lot of artists, his production is amazing. Yeah. And he's like one of those wonder boys that even the song they released a couple of days ago, it just, the production
sounds great.
Is so good.
He's killer, man.
And he literally has made like his band's 3 records, and maybe I don't know what he's made as far as local stuff or whatever, but like that's pretty rare.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like for a band that sells 20,000 tickets in London to have their keyboard player just make their records and the label sign off on it. Yeah. That's, I mean, if we tried to do that, it would turn
it awful. Well, and it is a peer too. The cool idea was that we all, like I said, respect each other and we're friends, but he also was like, yo, I grew up listening to Underoath. I can tell you guys like when I think it's shit, you know? And I thought that was cool. I was like, and you know, his name would have been on the line as well. It's like, we're not going to let it suck. And like we didn't know what it was going to be. And, you know, timing didn't work out. I think everything happens for a reason. You know, they're focused on their record. We focused on ours, and both made great music.
Oh, so,
sure. You know, and I'm glad, like, we ended up meeting Matt Squire, who's someone we had never met before, who did Erase Me. And that's someone that I'm going to keep in touch with probably for the rest of my life, because he was literally the best producer Underoath has ever had. Like, he knew something about Underoath that a lot of people don't understand on the outside is it's the 4 people that write, that make, myself, Aaron, Tim, and Chris, like, we're all such strong personalities. It's really hard for a producer to work with us because the strong writing on one side might be from a quiet person, and this writing might be from the loudest guy in the band, and this guy might sit in the corner until someone asks him a question, but everyone has an equal, like,
opinion, the strong opinion.
And something that brings to the table that if it's not there, it won't sound like Underoath.
Right.
And Squire really, he was kind of like, it was like almost like a Buddha in the middle of it. Like, he was just like this Zen master, and he just kept it so chill.
I forget
like,
this all the time. He actually has a degree. His college degree is in psychology.
Really?
Which is super random and rare.
Wow.
So it was, I would love to make a record with Jordan and Ollie at some point, but the positive thing that did come from it was meeting Matt Squire and
For sure.
and having a new relationship, and our band being able to work together for the first time, because every Underoath record until Erase Me is dudes fighting and screaming at each other and not getting what they wanted. At the end of the day, every record was like someone's compromising. Until Erase Me, which was a record where we worked together and everyone left happy with the product. So
Wow.
if that was all Squire, or that's a mix of Squire and us being over the age of, in our 20s, like we're now in our 30s and maybe we're just adults, but whatever happened was amazing, and I wouldn't change it.
Worked well in the end. Fantastic to hear. Speaking of other collaborators, I did want to ask you, Aaron, about As It Is, because you appeared on that Great Depression.
We're on the same label, and the label reached out to me. And I've never been, to be honest, a guy that really does guest spots. But their record it's like a concept record. And they kind of allowed me to do a guest spot and just do what I wanted. Like, he sent me some lyrics and he's like, you do whatever you want. And it was cool. I was in the studio working on actually another band's record, producing. And it just worked out. And I like Patty because he is one of those people I feel like that really works hard. And I feel like there's less and less of that in the music industry today, because it's so easy to put your songs out. It's so easy to tour now, like for a lot of startup bands. And he, like, he's had a lot of health issues. He's had a lot of shit go down in his life, and he's just willing to work. And it was really cool. It was really cool, and the song turned out great, I think. And he kind of let me. What I really liked about it is I put my own spin on it and just sent it back. And I didn't hear anything back. They were like, "Cool, thanks." I was like, "Oh shit." Like, did they hate it? Like, what happened? And then
Was this okay?
And then when the record came out, he had taken his parts and morphed them to what I did, which was really cool. So
yeah, I mean, we were chatting to Patty and Ben about it actually, and like they were saying exactly that. That was kind of the thing. Like, oh my god, we've got Aaron on the record now. This is what it sounds like. And like you say, they sort of felt like, we'll let you take the lead, and then we'll adapt around it.
Well, for me, the main reason I did it as well is because they were like a pop punk band. And they really wanted to become a heavier band. And they didn't do it in like a cheesy way. They kind of just did their own thing. And I thought that was cool, that they decided, hey, we want to go in a heavier direction, but we're not going to try to sound like everybody else that's doing heavy music right now. Right now, everyone's just trying to sound like Bring Me the Horizon. So it was cool that they kind of went backwards, So, yeah.
No, it's an incredible record, it really is. I wanted to ask you guys as well, we've been speaking to loads of bands through the summer, as you might imagine, about Warped Tour, because it was the final ever one. You guys played a few guest spots there. Talk to me about that final shows on Warped Tour out in the States. It's meant a lot to your band, I suppose, over the
we've done it
past
7
few years.
times.
Yeah, exactly.
Fully.
Amazing.
I don't know, it was cool. I mean, Warped Tour has got that built-in audience. Every show just feels like it's great, and it's sad to see it go in a way, but in a way it's also like times are changing and we all need to adapt. And I think, at least in America, things are maybe moving in a more progressive direction than even we might imagine right now. I see it happening with a lot of the festivals Underoath has been invited to, with a lot of our peers. Like we're out there with Thrice or The Used and Beartooth, or even Bring Me the Horizon, like the bands that would never be invited to play a lot of these festivals, and sharing stages with bands like Marilyn Manson and Disturbed and Five Finger Death Punch and all these things that we think is super weird. But when Warped Tour started, wasn't it weird that a band like Underoath was sharing the stage with Less Than Jake? It's not that much different. It's just moving. Things are changing, and the final Warped Tour shows were probably some of the best we ever played. Toronto was definitely the best Warped Tour set. We played last, and there was no reason for anyone to be there unless you wanted to stay for Underoath, and it was the biggest Warped Tour show we've ever played. And it was like that thing was like, this is sad that it's going to go, but you know, I know the last couple of years of Warped Tour hadn't been too great turnout wise until they said, hey, it's over. And I don't know if that's a sign of who we are as people or just the lineup was right this year or whatever it is, but it's gone and things are going to move forward, and maybe there'll be something similar to it in the future that reboots that whole thing. But you know, we've got a lot of great festivals in America, and there's a lot of great festivals over here that we played this year, and I don't know, I think things are just changing.
Yeah,
change doesn't have to always be bad. I think you're going to hold on to those memories and be like, oh, that sucks, it's not there anymore. But yeah, I mean, we made the best of it. 3 shows is all we needed because it was way too damn hot, man. It sucks.
Yeah, that is, to be fair, what everyone has said. Yeah,
I never understood
I
that.
forgot how hot it was.
Really?
Oh, because we hadn't done it in 9 years.
Right.
So the first day I walked off the bus and I was like, fuck.
I don't get it. It's like all these bands tour all year long, and you're like, why do you want to come to this when it's like 1,000,000 degrees outside and every band plays for 30 minutes?
Yeah, you're literally seeing, that's what's interesting about Warped Tour, and that's what also made it unique, is you're literally doing 6 songs.
Yeah.
I was talking to Patty about it. He's like, dude, like it's 6 songs. Like,
yeah, that's like my least favorite part about it. It's like, but
getting going and want to
like right when I'm like in like,
yeah, you're starting to sweat,
starting to
hitting
feel
your stride,
good, and you're like,
leave.
oh, and then someone's looking at you on the side going, and you're like, oh shit, oh yeah, I gotta hurry this up, we gotta go, one more song, here we go. You know, it's like,
yeah.
I've never got. I mean, as a music fan, which we all are, which is why we do this and grow up going to shows. Like, I never went to Warped Tour before I played it.
Oh, right.
Just because to me, I was, you know, I grew up a place where it didn't come, but I wouldn't have gone because it's just the heat and all of it. I mean, and I'm more proud of those people that go. That's the reason why we all have jobs, right? But
yeah, fair play.
I've always scratching my head on that, like, dude, there's all these bands come through indoors all year long, and you get to see every song that you might want to hear.
Air conditioning.
You might get to see the song that you actually want to hear, as opposed to 5 songs in the blazing sun.
You'd be surprised. A lot of places don't have air conditioner.
Oh, really?
And use indoors.
Oh, wow.
Especially over here. Like in Europe.
Oh, yeah, over here, because it's only since this incredible summer we've been having, we've suddenly realised, hey, maybe we should get some air conditioning units in these venues.
It's time. Yeah.
It's the first time we've ever
We did one on Rebirth in Germany, and there was no air conditioner. There was 15 or 1,600 people in this room, and I'm not kidding. It was like a spiritual experience. It was like a Native American sweat lodge.
Wow.
Halfway through the show, so we played for 2 hours on that tour. And halfway through the show, I looked at my drum tech, and I was like, this is not going to happen. Like, you know how you get like super dizzy, and like, I was like, this is it. Like, I'm going to pass out. I took all my clothes off except for my underwear and played the show that way.
Wow. I respect that. If you're going to play in a sauna, you may as well dress appropriately,
It was
right?
literally a sauna.
Yeah, man. Incredible scenes. Guys, it's so nice to see you over here. It really, really is.
Thanks for having us.
Great chatting to you. Before you go, one last question. What's next, basically? Do we know what plans are in terms of more music? Where do we
just
think
announced
we can go?
our like a big first like big A market tour in America. So just a bunch of touring right now, and then we have more stuff that we can't announce yet. So.
Yeah, the funny thing is, when you asked us earlier in this interview, like, how's it been? Like, you guys have been super busy. We still haven't really done a tour yet, if that makes sense. Right. We've been doing so many festivals and playing shows in between them that we haven't really been able to do our own tour yet. It's like, so we've kind of barely started touring on this record. You know, it's been out for a couple months, so we get to do our first big, like, headlining run in the States, November, December. Nice. And then
which is really cool. Not to toot our horn, but we're playing the biggest rooms we've ever done in the States, which is super cool.
No, that's great.
Like, some of the rooms that we did with Bring Me and Beartooth were doing alone. So it's pretty cool to be able to, after this many years and with a new record, to be able to kind of go and do that, you know. Yeah. Like, we're in our hometown, we're playing the basketball arena, which is kind of a, you know, your first stepping stone towards. So it's after all these years and after all this time to be able to release new music and be able to do stuff like that, it's just super flattering. And we've been working our asses off, so it's really cool to see it work. You know what I mean?
No, 100%. No, it's great to see you guys always. Aaron and Spencer, thanks very much.
Cheers.
Our thanks to Spencer and Aaron there. And remember, for more interviews and exclusive games, go and check out the Rock Sound YouTube channel. It is youtube.com facebook.com/Rock Sound Magazine. Still to come, we'll be playing First Time Last Time with the guys from Pavements, but before we get to that, it's time for this week's game of Translate the Lyric. Here's how it works. We take a band's lyrics, we put them through Google Translate into French, into Italian, into Spanish, and into German. All they have to do is figure out what song it is. And this week we're playing with Henry and Ash from Boston Manor. Their new album, Welcome to the Neighborhood, has just been released. So, can they identify their own lyrics once they've been twisted and turned into these foreign languages? Let's find out. Here now are Boston Manor.
Hi, James Wilson Taylor here for Rock Sound, joined now by a couple of lads from Boston Manor. It is Ash and Henry. How are you guys?
Good, man. How you doing?
Good to see you. So we're going to play a little game. We've been playing lots of bands. This is called Translate the Lyric. Very, very simple. I take some Boston Manor lyrics, I throw them through Google Translate into French, into German, into Italian, into Spanish. You have to tell me what the lyric is or which song it's from. All right? Makes sense? Makes sense?
Got it.
Yeah? Are you good with languages? Were you good with languages at school or anything?
We
Dabble.
think we can speak German. We can't at all.
That's an exciting thing. All right, I'm going to give you the magic piece of paper right here.
All
you guys hold that, and when you're ready, read out for the lovely people at home the French one, and let's see how we get on. Read it out.
I
for
already
me.
know this one.
Well, you're not going to start from the top.
Yeah, of course.
All right, okay.
Je suis désolé de partir. Tu as si paid à croix.
Very good.
What?
Very good. Right.
Is
What
that
are
right?
we thinking, guys? That is right. That is correct. Right. What do we think that could be?
Right, je suis, I think, is not I am.
Yeah.
I am.
Désolé is like,
No help from people off camera. No help from people off
we have
camera.
a Frenchman in the building,
We
people.
have a Frenchman in the building right here.
Alright, so that's probably just Leica then, I think.
It is like a, do you want the whole lyric? I'm sure you know it.
I'm so sorry.
Yes.
But is that so? Is partir so?
I don't know what
really.
part. Oh, no, I think party is leaving.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, it must be.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. There you go. Well done.
There you
One
go.
for one. We're
Nice
doing
one,
all right
dude.
with the
One for
French.
one.
That's not bad. That's well worked out. I will say that as well.
100% success rate.
Try your... Cocky already. Here we go. Try your Italian. Read that one out for me. Let's see how we get on.
Go on, mate.
Sorry to anyone who's Italian watching. Posso vedere la tua aureola cadere.
All right. What are we thinking, guys?
I haven't a fucking clue.
Yeah.
I can give you a clue if you need it.
Oh, do we get little hints?
Can we get
Well, if you struggle, I'll maybe give you a little hint.
can we get a hint?
You may have a hint. Think more recent.
Okay.
Is it Halo then?
But what might it be from Halo? Clue, it's the famous lyric.
I can see your halo full.
That's what it is in
Yeah.
Italian. There we go. I'll give you a half. I'll give you a half.
So is Halo Oriola then?
I'm going to guess it is.
think
Again,
it is.
Italian viewers, please tell us, you'll know better than us.
Because
It's
the
Google Translate
areola
always gets it slightly
is the
wrong.
nips, and that's like round.
Right,
We're just talking strictly round things right now.
there it is. As long as it's round, that's how it makes sense in the language. All right, let's try German. How's your German, boys? All right? You just said you think
I think we got
you're
this.
all
I
right?
think
Okay,
we
go
got
for
this.
it. Go for it. Read it on out.
Willkommen in der Nachbarschaft.
Which
And
is
what could that
welcome
be?
to the neighbourhood. I
Very
think.
good. I'm going to give you that one straight out. There we go. All right.
Can we get 1.5 points for that to bring it back
We
up
speak
to...
German.
To bring it back up. Well, you get a bonus point for speed. No, I'm not having that. All right.
What about the accent though as
Let's
well?
go. Well, I'll tell you what. You attempt the accent on this last one, and then maybe there'll be a bonus point. Little Spanish for you. All right, read out the Spanish. Let's see how we get on. Come on.
I think you should have this one, Henry.
Why do you give me all the hard ones? All right.
Again, sorry to anyone who's Spanish or speaks Spanish. Estás nadando río arriba con pies de plomo.
Very good. Right. What do we think it could possibly
Well, arriba. Is that? I don't know. Estás
be?
plomo.
I think. No, that'll be a giveaway.
What
I
do you
can't
know?
say that one.
Do you know?
I can't know this.
Mike's off camera giving us very smug looks as if he knows all the answers. I'll be honest with you. What do we think?
Estás nada.
Do you want to have a stab?
Yeah, hit me. Go on.
Go for it. Shall I just give it away?
Yeah, just
Yeah, go on then.
You're swimming up the river with lead feet. There you
Ah.
are. You could use that one. Next time you're gigging in Spain, that is what that means. There you are.
Estás nadando.
I really want you to sing
Arriba.
that in the lead feet melody.
That sounds like a challenge there.
I'm not doing that.
I'm not going to bully you into that.
Another time.
2.5 out of 4 though, not a bad
Yeah,
score.
I think that's
not a bad
decent.
score. And then the big question we always finish with, of course, is which one of those is your favourite that you genuinely think, oh, if we were gigging there, that would sound cool?
German.
The German one?
For sure.
Willkommen in der
Yeah.
Nachbarschaft.
There you go, the new album available now. There we are. Boys, always good to see you. Not a bad score at all.
Thanks,
There we are.
man.
Boston
Cheers.
Manor.
Thank you to Henry and Ash, and if you want to hear Boston Manor and loads of other great new music updated every single Friday, go and subscribe to the Rock Sound chart. It is available right now on Spotify. Just search Rock Sound and hit subscribe. New releases updated every single week. Almost time to wrap things up, but before we do, let's play another round of First Time, Last Time. We put out a subject, they have to tell us what the first time they did this thing was, and the last or most recent time they did this thing was. And this week, it's with the guys from Pavements. Yes, it's Tyler, Freddie, and Nick. They've just had a recent EP out, pop punk trio from LA. You might know Tyler as well from his work as an actor on the likes of Teen Wolf and various other stuff. It was great chatting to them. They were in the UK recently playing a few shows, so we're going to find out about the first albums they ever bought and what gigs they've been going to recently, among other stuff. Let's get to know them a little bit better. Here now are Pavements.
We're back on the Rock Sound podcast. I am joined now than none other than Tyler, Freddie, and Nick, aka Pavements. How are you guys?
hey.
Good. How are you? Lovely to see you.
Doing
Lovely to
great.
see you. So we're going to play a little game. This is called First Time, Last Time. I'm just going to list a bunch of stuff. All you have to do is tell me the first time you did that thing and the last time, the most recent time you did that thing.
Shit.
Nice and simple.
Here we go.
It's really, really
The
straightforward.
pressure is on.
The pressure's on. It's very
in the hot
complicated here. So the first one is a very simple, clean one. What was the first gig you ever went to and the last gig you ever went to? And
Bless
your
the
own
Fall.
ones don't count.
Sorry.
Go on.
First
go on.
gig was Bless the Fall.
Nice.
Last gig was I forgot. Keep going.
Okay, easy. The first gig that I ever went to, I was 5 years old. My dad took me to a Peter, Paul, and Mary show.
Wow.
Puff the Magic Dragon, and then their microphones died, and so they had to scream out the lyrics at everybody. And I remember being so fascinated by the whole entire show, and that's kind of what got me into music, sort of. And then the last show that I saw was I went to Self Help Fest, saw Knuckle Puck, state champs.
It was a good lineup.
It was a great
yeah.
lineup. It was fantastic.
Fantastic.
It was really, really good show.
All right.
First show I ever attended, My Chemical Romance.
Oh, yes.
That was
tour?
great.
Which tour?
I'm sorry?
Which tour?
I don't remember which show. It was definitely in the air. It was like I think it was right before Black Parade was released. So they were still playing. Those songs were still new and not heard in an album format, but they didn't yet have their, the black coat thing going on with the, they didn't have the concept yet.
Cool.
But it was so sweet. And I remember the drummer, I think at the time for Thursday, was filling in because Bob was going through the surgery thing.
Sure.
Last show was this totally sweet local band out in Los Angeles, Cherry Domingo.
Okay.
And before that, Counterparts, Architects.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that was to fill my thing in.
Let's fill the gaps. Let's fill the gaps.
fill the gaps.
Seaway and Neck Deep we saw pretty recently too.
Seaway Neck Deep, that was, I guess, second to last.
Also
My
at the
last
Fonda
one-
Theater.
The last one was at the Fonda Theater, Counterparts, and Architects.
Nice.
God, I love Architects. They're so good. And they're from Brighton, so I'm kind of stoked that we actually got to play there.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you did the
Yeah.
Great Escape as well
Yeah.
out there in Brighton. No, that's awesome. What was the first album you ever bought and the last album you ever bought or streamed? I know it's 2018.
Right. First album that I ever bought was either Enema of the State
Yes.
or Kid Rock.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was the album where he like flipped off the CD. I can't remember which album it was. It had a ball with the
He
ball.
flipped off the
bang,
CD?
The bang, diggy, yeah, and
Or flipped you off?
No, the CD got flipped off, and
Oh,
I was
cool.
like, I got in trouble for it. But the last album I bought or streamed, it's got, I think, Movements.
Oh, yeah.
Feel Something.
Cool.
I think that was
Very good album.
Oh my God, blew
Yeah.
me away.
That's
Holy
so
shit, their
great.
debut LP.
Oh, my God.
That's so great.
So good.
All right, first album, last album.
What did you not do?
Any
We'll
order
go in
we
a circle.
like. Any order we
Well,
like,
let's fight about it right now. You go first.
Okay, well, I'll tell you this.
No, okay, don't
come
go
on,
because
buddy.
I have this, everybody. The first, I think first album I ever bought with my own money was either Shape of Punk to Come, Refused, or it was Define the Great Line by Underoath. And then the last one that I think I bought was either Fever 333, their EP. So sick, so nice. Or it was this band out in Chicago. It's got City Mouth.
All right.
Quite sick too.
Nice. Chicago. Check it
Chicago.
out. Check it out. All right, come on.
All right, so the first, my albums are not going to be as cool as these two guys. My first ever album that I have ever bought was probably a Now 4 CD.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So we're going
Now
full
full.
compilation. Do we remember
Full
any of
compilation.
the tracks that
I'm
were on
sure-
the
I
Now
remember
4?
a lot of the tracks, and you know
Okay,
what?
let's
I got into Blink-182, and I got into drumming because of All the Small Things, which was on Now 4. So,
Wow.
So now 4, thank you.
Nice.
Appreciate
There
that.
you go.
You
Now
know,
that's what I call music.
I got
Now
into
them royalties.
I got into Aaliyah because of Now 4 too. You know, that song on there was amazing. And the last album or stream that I bought, interesting. I think it would have to be. It would have to be a the Move-Ins Feel Something album for sure, which is an amazing album. They totally blew it out of the water.
Yeah,
it's insane.
No, they're great boys. They were here the other week. They're absolutely awesome.
And their Movement's Outgrown thing is.
Oh yeah, they were here.
amazing.
They
were.
They just finished this little tour. Yeah.
Thank you again to Pavements, and they are currently also featured on the Rock Sound Breakout chart. Again, go and subscribe to that over on Spotify. Just search Rock Sound and hit subscribe. That's updated every single month with some of the breakout bands that you can also read about in the magazine. That's about it for this week. Thanks again to all our guests, to Pavements, to Henry and Ash from Boston Manor, and to Spencer and Aaron from Underoath. We will be back next week with more games and more exclusive interviews. Until then, please do go and subscribe over on SoundCloud, over on Spotify, over on iTunes, or on your favorite podcast app. I've been James Wilson Taylor, and we will see you next week.